Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
Yes. Welcome into the Colby Sapp IndyCarTim show. I am your host, Colby Sapp, and like to welcome you in to the most distracted podcast you'll ever see as Game 7 is happening right now. Hello, IndyCarTim.
Hello, Colby. How are you, brother?
Man, I'm kind of super excited, nervous, and everything else. We've got hockey that's going to be staring at us. If you're wondering if we're going to do a normal show, we are. If you also wonder if we're going to be distracted and somehow for no apparent reason screaming in the middle of this or sighing or kicking things and all of that, well, it's because we're also watching.
Colby, I have something that I want to play for you right now.
Okay.
And I'm hoping we hear a lot of this tonight. Giving me goosebumps right now.
Woo!
Getting goosebumps already. How much are we going to talk about Stars right now? Or are we pushing that back?
No. I mean, right off the bat, because before the game starts and gets really kicking over, if you're watching your TV and you've got the radio on and everything else, but also somehow in the corner you've got us as well, yeah, there's going to be Stars talk right off the bat, as you have some numbers to tell us about that are all good signs for the Dallas Stars.
So, Colby, of course, everybody watched Game 6, and it was disappointing and disturbing and blasphemous, insulting, all of those adjectives that you can think of.
I don't know if it attacked God, but it was close.
Well, it sure did. God's a Stars fan.
Okay.
That's why there's a hole in the roof at the AAC.
Oh,
is that not?
No.
Oh, damn it.
Be hard to keep ice and
probably
temperatures.
So, Colby, after a loss this season, Jake Ottinger, 22-0. After a loss in the playoffs this season, Jake Ottinger, 4-0. But I have another one.
Uh-oh.
You remember the last Game 7 the Stars played on home ice?
I do.
St. Louis Blues, 6-1.
Yeah.
We don't need another one of those.
No.
So let's go with the more recent trends, the 22-0 and the 4-0, and the fact that I don't know that the Stars can play two games that horribly in back-to-back.
Okay, right.
However, when you think about who has the advantage, yeah, the Stars are at home. Sure, I get it. The Kraken are a young team. I get it. They're sort of just now put together. Was this their second year? They just did this in the first round. They went into Colorado and knocked off the Stanley Cup reigning champions in a Game 7.
I don't have to be reminded of that. Remembered of that?
You can be remembered too.
Okay.
So let's just keep in mind, let's not get too confident here, and I hope the Stars players aren't either. I'm sure DeBoer's got them in the right frame of mind before they take the ice and face off here. But the Kraken are not going to be a pushover tonight, okay? They're experienced in Game 7s on the road. They've already done it this year. I'd like to think the Stars are playing better than the Avalanche were in the first round. But it's all going to come up to matchups. If this is a close game, in my opinion, that favors the Kraken. The Stars need to jump out on top, and they need to get a 2 or 3 goal lead early and just keep it.
Yes, and don't ever get to within that one goal at the end of it. No,
not in a Game 7 in the playoffs.
No, it's bad.
I'd have a heart attack just talking about it.
Of course, any kind of message, or you got a comment, or you want to talk about the Stars or what's happening actually as it's going, because we'll be watching. Be sure and keep that text line that's staring at you on this screen right now, unless you've downloaded us like a bunch of you do.
You can still text us.
You can still text us. Maybe you're hearing this later and like, man, how did you feel about that goal? Because what happened to me. 214-937-0569 is the FanStream Sports text line. So give that a whirl, and we, of course, be monitoring as we're monitoring the hockey game going on. So Game 7 hockey playoffs, especially if your home team's in it, is probably the most intense viewing a sports fan can view. I can't think of anything. I mean, anything that's like an NFL playoff game, pretty intense. right? But Game 7 is like a finalization, and it's got to be the most intense Game 7 of all products that are out there, whether it be baseball, whether it be basketball. So, Tim, are you going to survive? Because
Colby, I'm so nervous right now. I can't even describe it to you.
Do you feel like you've got the diarrhea?
My stomach's turning knots.
Okay.
Thank God I've got something to drink to settle my stomach.
Okay.
I don't know when the last time I drank in the studio was. Since we've been called this show. I used to do it all the time on the other show.
Right. Since we changed over names.
Yeah.
And took out a couple of key words.
Yeah. I don't do it often. I mean, I never do it. You know this. I never do it. But tonight I was like, man.
No, it's time for a little drinking.
Because that's what I'd be doing at home. I'd be watching the stars.
So that is, of course, the big thing that's going on, that if you see me not looking at the camera or not looking at Tim, but I'm looking up at the TV, it's not because I'm taking in wrestling like I normally am at this point.
By the way, during the show, when I see a goal, I will play this. And no matter where we are in the show,
right,
I'm going to hit this. So
just come on, Ottinger. Can you just be here?
Or I might play this.
Boobs.
Okay, is that all right? You know, I mean, whichever one gets you happy.
If I see the Kraken score a goal, I'm going to play this.
I don't know if I can take it.
Or how about this?
Okay, that's better. That's better, because even though in my sad moments, if you were to play that first, then I envision the girls in lingerie running around a car chasing an old man.
Or would you rather hear this? Or this? Like, what's your choice for when the Kraken, if the Kraken score a goal?
Okay, probably the second, because I can't find words, fart noise that I made. It's probably
that one.
No, that wasn't. That one was me.
That's you right there.
That's me. That the short one's hilarious. I don't know why. It's like every time you take like a fart drop and just shorten it, it almost sounds like that, you know, when you've got the running gas and you're like, you know, you're just, as you're walking, more squeezes out.
You don't want it dripping down your leg.
No.
Oh, fart talk.
Oh, it's good times.
Greatest way to open the show, man.
So we currently have about 2 minutes before the Stars actually run out there and start playing the little bit of the hockey as the puck drop happens.
Well, I hope they skate out there. If they're running, we're at a disadvantage.
Or could be the greatest advantage known to man. We don't know. We have no idea. So there's that. We do have a question, though, Tim, as we will continue to talk about the Stars. But also, hey, Tim, what day is it, bud?
Are we doing that now?
We don't have to.
No, fine. I got it right now. I just got to pull it up.
I mean, I have other things.
Let's do what day is it first, and then you can get to your things.
All right.
So we got time. Colby, today is May 15th.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as Fan Stream Sports is concerned, we're not going to pull the curtain back too far, but it's a pretty monumental day for our little struggling company here.
Mm-hmm.
Just that's all people need to know.
Hi.
Pretty good day for us. We're having fun here in the studio.
We're excited.
It is National Chocolate Chip Day today.
Man, there's no greater form of chocolate than whatever great chocolate is, just chipped off into little pieces.
I agree.
That's just no matter what the cacao or whatever cacao, however you say it, percentage is.
Right.
That's I don't know how to say it, but I know what it looks like.
But we all know what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
It is also National Bring Flowers to Someone Day today.
After Mother's Day?
That should have been after. That should have been, well, I mean, Mother's Day floats, right?
It does. So, okay. So like the leftover flowers from Mother's Day, they still have them sale. So they're trying to generate a way for you to, go buy those.
Yes.
Okay.
It is also International Conscientious Objectors Day.
What?
Join us as we celebrate conscientious objectors, this International Conscientious Objectors. Okay, that just didn't tell us anything.
Okay, first of all, if it's the guy you're in like some kind of meeting and they stand up and start telling their side of the story that we don't need to hear, we're just trying to leave. That person, I will never celebrate a day involving you.
So the logo to go with this day is two hands breaking a gun in half.
What?
So I guess it's like peaceful protest day today.
Okay.
And then maybe the most overrated thing that I've ever seen in the history of the world, because this is just meaningless for most people. International Family Day. Family is way overrated.
Well, it's that you have to have a day for it, though.
No,
you don't really have to. I mean, family's every day. I mean,
if you subscribe to that kind of thing,
it's all about the family. That's what the Fast and Furious movies have taught me.
Kids are the worst.
It's all about family.
Kids. It is maybe my favorite today, Colby. International Kangaroo Care Awareness Day.
Those things that run across Australia and knock people out and stuff.
Baby kangaroos called?
And strangle dogs.
What do they call a baby kangaroo over there?
A kid?
A joey.
Oh, that's right. It's a joey. Sorry, it's a goat that's a kid, which I never understood that one either.
And I don't know how you're celebrating this today.
Okay.
It is National Nylon Stocking Day.
As soon as you said that, my brain goes straight to Cinemax.
Silk stockings?
Silk stockings.
God, that's great. That chick was hot, man.
I mean, no, she just could get in the greatest situations.
Man.
They never described them as great, but, you know.
So when you watched that, it was always on late at night, like after our bedtime, right?
Right.
Silk stock. God, I wonder if that's streaming somewhere.
I'm sure you can find it. Maybe it's on YouTube, right?
It was supposed to be like we weren't supposed to watch it. Like it was supposed to be naughty.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was occasional breasts.
There was. It was. Was it a Cinemax show or Showtime or something?
It was Cinemax.
Was it
right?
Skinemax?
Skinemax. That was the reason why it got that moniker of Skinemax. Was a lot had that or random movies like The Hills Have Thighs and stuff like that you'd end up watching. And man, I tell you,
The Devil Wears Nada.
Yeah, I came across I think it was The Hills Have Thighs at one point for no apparent reason. It just stopped on it, and I remember one of the actresses in the movie, and I put it in quotations because I don't think she was acting. I think she was just being herself.
It's the best kind of actress.
She had the ginormous boobs, but you could totally tell that wasn't the greatest boob job ever. Shooting a load into a lady. I mean, that's a good timing on that drop.
Do you have a fresh pair of panties on?
But you could totally see like the stitch marks that made them that big.
Dude, I've seen that. I've seen that at strip clubs.
It's just wow, man. I mean, she made it to the movies.
Do you want to hear the grossest thing I've ever seen at a strip club?
I'm not sure I do, bud.
Colby, I was at a local gentleman's establishment several years ago, and it was not a game night. Okay, it must have been like a Tuesday night or something.
Okay, I was there on a Tuesday.
I don't know. I can't explain what I was doing there.
Right. Well,
and I don't know what the first dancer that I saw was doing there on the main stage. It's Chastity, as she did her little dance and pulled her leg up.
Oh no!
To her
no.
You know, up to her shoulder or whatever, and was holding it, staring at me.
Yeah.
There might have been a string hanging out where it wasn't supposed to be.
Oh dear.
Where,
I kept saying no because I didn't want you to say what you were about to say.
Did you know what I was about to say?
I knew where we were going. I felt it. I was like, oh no, he's going Einstein. He's going Einstein. No. I do not want to hear about the string theory.
I mean, men take it better.
Oh dear, sweet God.
Colby, it was just not, yet I stayed and I kept going.
That's immensely wrong.
Hey. It is Peace Officers Memorial Day.
Okay. Yes.
Show your appreciation to those who keep the peace.
That's
and
right.
To those who have died in the line of duty. For sure. Straw Hat Day, Colby.
A good straw hat, there's nothing wrong with it.
I agree.
Nothing wrong with it. So.
Vascular Birthmarks Awareness Day.
What?
Vascular Birthmarks Awareness Day.
Is that where the birth hit so hard that it messed up the alignment of your veins?
I think it's just a type of birthmark.
Is it to the kid or is it to, I'm guessing it's to the kid.
It says most of us are born with birthmarks and they are mostly harmless. I mean, I feel like that's a terrible sentence because I want to know about the ones that aren't.
Yeah, now fill me in.
Like.
Don't mark that.
Mark. And it is also, Colby, I don't know what VBF is, but it's VBF Day of Awareness. There's another one up here. National Tuberous Sclerosis Day.
Okay, I was thinking of something to do with a band or
Oh,
something.
did I say it's also National Senior Fraud Awareness Day?
No, but you need to.
Join us as we raise awareness about financial fraud on senior citizens.
Which happens so much. Everybody knows somebody that's affected.
Why are old people stupid?
It's not. It's just the technology. You're just not. They're not used to it, and plus, they really want friends.
They don't get the phone. They don't understand the phone. It's been around most of their lives.
Yeah, but not as much as what can happen now. Used to, you could call somebody, and oh my God, it hit the post. Used to, you could call somebody, or somebody could call you, and it would be serious.
Right.
And now, nobody that calls you about anything can be trusted. But that's not something that, you can explain to Mimo.
Poor old people
about this stuff. So
poor old people, man.
And even after you explain it, they may not remember it.
Dude, and I saw a post on this. Oh God, Haskinen, you got to catch that. Saw a post on TikTok about. I should have done this for stupid things I saw on social media or Twitter or whatever about like shows that we watched in the 70s. Right, or early 80s or whatever, that had like old people in it. For instance, Three's Company, right? You had Don Knotts and Mr. Furley as the landlord, right?
Right.
And they were old. They were hugely old people, right?
I don't know how hugely old people works, but I'll go ahead and go.
Our perception of them they were just really old, right?
Right.
So Norman Fell, the actor that played Mr. Roper, was 52 when he played that character, Colby, when he started. Colby, I'm 52.
Yes, you are.
Don Knotts was 54 when he took over for the Ropers.
Oh my. Okay. All right. He looked older than 54. All right. Do we look that old now to like kids?
Dude. Here's another one for you.
I don't know if I want another one.
Happy Days. Mr. and Mrs. C.
Right.
Tom Bosley and Marion, forgot her last name. Marion Ross.
Okay, it's definitely not Jim Bush.
The actors, that might have been her middle name. The actor and actress that played both of those characters were in their late 40s.
That's me.
Colby. And then here's one to blow your mind completely. Gilligan's Island. Thurston Howell III.
Yes.
And Lovey.
Natalie
Schaefer, by the way, and Jim Backus. My God, I know these actors' names.
I don't know why you know
Jesus, because I watched opening credits for 20 years of all of them.
I know, but nobody ever remembers them except for you.
Jim Backus was younger on that show than Brad Pitt is right now.
Well, okay. And Brad Pitt's like in action movies and stuff like that still right now.
I don't think he's playing old men.
No, he's not.
On islands.
No, he's not.
It puts age things into perspective. And I know you hate history, right?
I do.
You hate history.
Yeah.
And old shows and documentaries.
I like some old shows.
They're my favorite.
I just don't like documentaries.
When you look at a show and there's like an old dude in horned rim glasses, whatever, and his hair's all combed to one side and greased down with Brill cream, and he's wearing a suit with a skinny tie.
Right.
Dude, and you go look up his age, how old the actor was. He's like 40, 38. And they're like the modern day equivalent of like 60 or 70.
So we do need to look and see if we're aging slower. Because it feels like now we're aging slower. Because we wouldn't go, if somebody were to go cast us for parts, they wouldn't be these parts, right?
I don't think so.
So, and like Tom Brady playing till he's 50 or whatever.
Right.
And, these guys playing a lot longer. Maybe the running back age will start to go a little bit farther.
I mean, I
You
doubt
know?
it. That ain't gonna happen.
That's probably not.
Probably not gonna have a running back in the football league. In the football league?
No, it's just going to be a wide
Did
receiver.
I just call it the football
You
league?
did just call it the football league. Sweet God, we're off the rails.
I have one more thing before we get into fresh panties.
Okay.
Get in the basket. And we're going to get into this a little bit later in the show, but Dallas did crown a world champion.
They did
this past weekend, and we're going to talk about it later in the show. But I wanted to bring this up right now because number one, there's a lot of people that just aren't into this particular league, the XFL.
Not yet.
And it brought up so people were like joking around and making fun of it at on Twitter that the Stars have the first power play.
Yep.
Calling it the World Championship, that the Renegades are world champions. And I sort of get it, right? Like, I think that's sort of dumb to call them the world champions. And then I got to thinking even farther. You probably shouldn't call the NFL championship winner the world champions or the World Series world champions.
Right.
They don't play against the world. Call them NFL champions. Call them XFL champions. They're not. I had to agree with this dude, but he was totally bashing the league, and I had to go back and go, look, dude, it's a great product. I love it. But I get it. They're not world champions. It seems silly to me.
You know what? It doesn't seem silly to me. And I understand that, you can't call people the world champions because if they haven't beaten the whole world at this particular sport.
I mean, World Cup soccer, sure. They're world champions.
Yeah.
World is literally in the name of the tournament.
Right. But
not a sport.
I mean, it is. But I don't have a problem with it. The main reason why is because that's what we do. That's what we do.
And I never really thought about it before. I just went with it.
And I have accepted so many things that don't make sense, and people start trying to make everything make sense. You're not going to be able to do it, right? You're not.
Dumb.
And if you think, no, we need to, then we'll have to start with the English language and work our way away from it.
And start over.
Start with spelling.
Good day, mate.
And work our way up from everything else that's wrong. Because if you just go through and look at the spelling of words, a lot of them are stupid.
It's so dumb. No wonder nobody can learn English.
I mean, it's damn tough. And then once you learn English, it's kind of hard to learn everything else because you're like, wait,
there are no rules.
What happened?
So okay, dumb, totally right. Gay.
So this is that part of the segment of the show. This is the segment of the show where I go through all the people that were born today, and I look through all the people that I think are famous enough to make my list, and then I offer them up to you guys and Tim for you guys to name the good person, the bad person, and or the ugly person that's happening right now. And if you do have any comments or want anybody on this list to be nominated for good, bad, and or ugly, go ahead and text in on the FanStream Sports text line 214-937-0569. Starting off today, turning 67 years old, it's one Dan Patrick.
Wow, he's 67?
He is 67.
Is he still good? Is he still relevant?
I mean,
he doesn't show in his basement, right?
Yeah. But he does the Dan Patrick show, and it does pretty damn good as a podcast. So.
I mean, it's sort of the precursor to, I feel like, what's his face took his place, though?
Pat McAfee?
Pat McAfee, yeah.
Well, yeah, but you can download them, and he didn't take away from them. He may have taken some of the people that were just looking for that type of information, but
right.
It's still, I mean, Dan Patrick, him and Keith Olbermann was really my like way into Sports Center when it was
for sure
was the thing that I had to watch.
And now Keith Olbermann's just a freaking clueless idiot about everything.
Yeah, but
trying to get into politics.
He sounds smart when he says stuff.
But he's not really saying anything anymore.
He's not. No, he's not. But he does sound smart. Kevin Von Erich turned 66 years old today.
The last remaining Von Erich, Colby.
Yes. Well, his kids are wrestling.
He got a daughter wrestling, right?
Yeah. So his kids are a part of that independent scene and doing really well.
I used to wait on him and see him all the time at Sneaky Pete's out in Louisville because they're all from they don't live there anymore. I believe they're all in Hawaii now. But they lived in Lake Dallas.
And me, Kevin, and Corey all have an open invitation. Anytime we go to Hawaii, we can go stay
really?
at the Von Erich Ranch. Yeah. It's good times.
I mean, who would want to move from Lake Dallas to Hawaii? I just don't get it.
Everybody.
That's probably true.
Everybody, Tim. Ron Simmons turned 65. And I know that you don't know who he is, but he's a wrestler.
Kevin Von Simmons?
He's a wrestler. And Ron Simmons, the greatest the greatest thing that used to come out of Ron Simmons' mouth is during somebody talking about something, all you would hear him go is, damn. Yeah. And it's the greatest catchphrase until LA Knight came up with, yeah.
My favorite wrestler does this.
You know, I did wear trunks and was in a ring for a good little bit. So,
See?
So there it is. Josh Beckett turns 43 years old today.
MLB.
Getting real sportsy with the birthdays today, by the way. Apparently, if you're born on May 15th, you probably had a good chance at being a sports guy because John Smoltz is also 56.
Wow. I want to say Beckett had a good swim through Florida and Baston, and I want to say won a World Series with both, maybe.
I think you're right.
I don't know if it was the 97 or the 03 or 04 Florida Marlins. Yeah, he had a pretty good, successful career.
And John Smoltz turns 56 years old today. Smoltzy.
He's one of those guys that he's just as good as a broadcaster as he is as he was a baseball player. He's really good on the air.
And really worth listening to.
Yeah.
He says salient points that you're like, I get it now. Even if you've been watching baseball your whole entire life, he'll say something and you're like,
I got to look up the word salient.
Sorry, I've been listening to a Aloysius Pendergast novel, so my vocabulary has jumped up a little bit. My apologies. George Brett turned 70 years old, and Pine Tar is about something.
Dude, he was good.
He was good
in a small market.
And every time somebody says George Brett, I see him with the chaw in his mouth,
running out of the dugout.
Out of the dugout. As I complimented my vocabulary, I couldn't find the word dugout. Congratulations to me. Just running out and I think every time I think he's about to just kill this umpire,
blow up a vein. Yeah, he's gonna kill the umpire or Billy Martin.
So
one of those,
right? Somebody's dead.
Dang, it's gonna be a hard one today.
Nicholas Hammond turned 73 years old today.
Classical music conductor.
Nope. He is your original CBS TV series live action Spider-Man.
Oh, from the 70s? The one I grew up on?
Yep.
I never knew his name. I could see his face.
Yep.
But I don't think I ever knew his name or didn't remember it.
Not a single person from the Spider-Man Rogue Gallery was in the TV series. He was always fighting normal people, which is weird. Ryan Leaf turns 47 years old today.
Oh my God. Again, we all know his history and his failures in football and with the Cowboys. Really good analyst.
And those massive sleeves that he wore. It was uncomfortable to watch him.
Dude, that's when quarterbacks looked awesome. When the big old sleeves, heck yeah, in the late 90s and early aughts. I hate the crap like what Dak Prescott wears now, where it's tied around his arm. That just looks dumb.
I hate those windbreaker sleeves.
They're great.
Desmond Howard turns 53 years old today.
And what did he ever do?
The Heisman thing.
Did he really win the Heisman, or was that like the moon landing?
Pretty sure the moon landing happened too, Tim.
Same year?
Yeah, same year.
He won the Heisman?
Same year.
Breaking news.
Never mind. Andy Murray had to throw some of your sport in there. Andy Murray turns 36 years old today.
Andy Murray did not have the career he should have had, shortened by injuries.
Right.
But, could be a good.
Ray Lewis turns 48 years old.
Are you choking because you said the name Ray Lewis? And
no, I tried to quickly, while you were saying something, eat a piece of beef jerky, and it You didn't say enough for me to complete
Damn it. Should have watched. I'm trying to look at like 3 different things right now. I need to start using my third eye to look at something.
Okay. Well, if you unzip your pants, I'm leaving.
You can't see it.
That's what she said.
Oh my God, Colby.
Ray Lewis.
You'll make me find this, aren't you?
Might have had a hand in somebody dying. But his dance used to get everybody hyped up. So
God, I hated Ray Lewis.
I liked watching him play because most of the times he was playing, he wasn't playing against the Cowboys.
Yep, over in that AFC North. You know, he was with I didn't realize this so much later. He was with the Browns before they moved to Baltimore.
Yes.
I never remembered him as a Brown.
And
that sounds almost racist, right? I never remembered him as a Brown.
it almost, yeah.
Dang Browns.
You know what? Mark that, but never play it. Mark it, but never play it.
I hate the Browns.
Yeah, never play that either. Mark it, but never play it.
Not racist. It's a football team.
That's a football team. And turning 54 years old.
I know what this is. This better be what I think it is.
Man, he was trouble because nobody understood how to catch 22.
Deuce.
Emmitt Smith.
He's 54?
He's 54.
Huh. You know what? He wasn't supposed to be nothing coming out of Florida.
No, but he was a first-round pick.
Jimmy saw something in him, and I can remember that training camp in 1990, the year he was drafted. The Cowboys had another running back in camp with the last name Smith that was getting all the training camp hype. And that was little Timmy Smith that had played in a Super Bowl with the Redskins earlier that decade.
Mm-hmm.
And, man, he was coming on like gangbusters. And I can remember Del Hansen on Channel 8 talking about, oh, you know what? The Cowboys got a good Smith in camp, but it's not the one they drafted. And you can totally see him saying that, right?
Yeah,
I remember it like it was yesterday.
Of course.
And, dude, and all the accolades going into the season were Timmy Smith, not Emmitt. Is Emmitt Smith even going to make the team and have playing time? Because Timmy Smith is just coming on. Timmy Smith was cut before the first of the year, before the season started. And then we had Emmitt, thankfully. I think we got the right Smith.
Yeah, we got the right Smith. And really, you know what? Us as Dallas Cowboys fans, we do a lot of soft pedaling when it comes to when people mention the greatest running back of all time. Because admittedly, the greatest running back I ever saw was Barry Sanders.
Okay.
And I'll say that.
No, the argument could be made. I wouldn't argue that.
But I think we soft pedal a little too much when that's brought up because our own is the guy that owns the rushing record.
And I think it's amazing that those two guys played currently or concurrently with each other.
Right.
And we got to watch them both at the same time. Like Walter Payton didn't have a contemporary.
No, not really.
That everybody said, is it Walter or is it so-and-so? And no, people weren't saying, is it Tony Dorsett? No, nobody was saying that. Jim Brown didn't really have a contemporary.
Right.
Oh, Paul Hornung was really good, but Jim Brown was the guy back in the day. I love that Emmitt Smith and Barry Sanders played concurrently, and we could watch both of them at the same time. And, dude, it was an argument every week. All right, well, man, like Barry just rattled off 240 yards, and Emmitt only had 108 against the Giants. And then the next week, Emmitt would rattle off 200 against the Eagles, and Barry would only rush for 89 against the Bears. I mean, I loved that. That was like one of my favorite football arguments ever.
And the other side of it, of course, is like, well, if Barry would have had Emmitt's O-line, over with. True. But, also if, hey, my grandmother had wheels, she'd be a bicycle, right?
If ands and butts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a wonderful Christmas.
So,
but you know what? I don't. And I love analyzing that, but I kind of disagree with it. I don't think Barry would have had the same success behind the O-line that Emmitt had. They were two entirely different style runners.
True.
Barry liked to dance around in the backfield and look for a hole. I don't know if he would have known what to do if he had a hole presented to him at the beginning of a play. He might have just went somewhere else because he thought, I don't know, that shouldn't be there.
Right.
But, I mean, it's a fun argument for sure.
I can't zig. I'm just going to run through that.
I don't know what to do with that.
I'm pretty sure he wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah, he
with that.
probably would. Yeah. I don't know. He went to Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Him and Thurman Thomas.
Thermal.
Or as Pat Summerall used to call him all the time, Thurman Munson.
Yeah.
Stay hard, Thurman Munson.
So, Tim, do you have your good, bad, and ugly?
Oh, we got to do Facebook birthdays, Colby.
Okay.
Almost forgot. Because I have a Facebook birthday. It's a little bit good. As my fake sister.
What?
My fake sister, Tammy Hamm.
Oh, yeah.
Is, well, I'm not going to say how old she is. She's younger than me, though, has a birthday today. So we were friends. We met like in the neighborhood. Me and her husband met, and then we all started hanging out, couples friends, and her last name was Smith, you know, and somehow at some point drunk one night, I found out her maiden name was Hamm. Colby, that's my maiden name.
That's your, you don't have to say maiden.
Oh, it doesn't apply that way.
No.
And we were like, oh my God. And like, we became brother and sister, like immediately. It was really funny. Lincoln Lackey, classmate, has
Great name.
Has a birthday today.
So what crime lord does he work for?
I'm not allowed to say on the air.
Okay.
One of my favorite cooks from our old Firehouse 52 days there in Aubrey, Artie Weir, has a birthday today. Colby, upcoming birthdays. How about tomorrow, turning 34 years old, the short half of the Bottom Line Sports Talk, Mr. Gary Jackson, our former board op here.
Oh, hey. I wonder.
34.
I always find out what they're doing every Tuesday night.
I'll tell you what kind of music they like, too.
That's right.
And then, man, a dude from my old ticket days, one half of the Tee Box on Saturday mornings, some bigwig of that Avid Golfer magazine, one Craig Rosengarten has a birthday tomorrow.
Oh, Rosen.
Rosen has a birthday tomorrow.
All right, Jim.
And then some, I'm just going to call her Asian stripper because I don't know her personally, and I declined her friend request for about, 5 years. And I'd get a new one about every 2 months.
Okay.
So I finally just said, okay, I don't know you. It's her birthday. Lila Zhang.
All right.
She's 28 and she's an Asian.
So saying her, well, you don't have to keep,
well, she is.
Yeah.
I think she's a massage therapist.
All right.
Because I keep seeing ads from her or posts from her saying $65 an hour. So I'm assuming that's a massage. I'm going to find out.
Okay, go ahead.
I might find out.
You go ahead and DM her and then tell me about whatever virus your computer has and or your penis.
Can my penis give my computer a virus?
You know what? I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it.
Is that a thing?
So, Tim,
There's your birthdays.
There's those birthdays. You got that list ready to rock and roll?
Colby, I'm so glad that it was Emmitt Smith's birthday today because otherwise I was going to have a very, very difficult time with my good. But come on. Deuce.
It's Emmitt.
It's Emmitt Smith who once told me he needed $20,000 to be on our old show for 30 minutes. And he said, man, I'm really sorry. I'd love to do it, but I got a contract with an ad agency and I'm not allowed to do anything for less than 20,000. I'm like, I only need you for like 30 minutes. He's like, I'd love to. I can't help you. I want to do it. I really do.
Damn.
$20,000, Colby, for 30 minutes.
Oh, maybe we can do that later.
Maybe we can. Big news today. So yes, Emmett's my good man. Seriously, I could have gone Dan Patrick, Kevin Von Erich. You know what? I was going to go Kevin Von Erich until I remembered it was Emmett's birthday. My bad. Come on. Ray Lewis.
Okay. Got
away with murder. Literally.
And got him a Super Bowl out of it.
Super Bowl was after, right?
Yeah.
Because that alleged murder that happened in a Super Bowl weekend, like in Atlanta. I remember this very vividly. He was in Atlanta for the Super Bowl, but not playing in it. And I guess had to be late 90s, right? It had to be before, but it was after they went to Baltimore, which was 96. He won the Super Bowl in 2000 against the Giants, Kerry Collins.
Right.
So anyway, Yeah, he's my bad. My ugly Colby, and I'm struggling here a little bit because we got options, but much as I don't want to, I got to go Kevin Von Erich.
Wow.
Especially these days. He still has the same exact freaking haircut that he did when he was 15.
You don't, hey, it ain't broke, don't change it.
Does he
right?
use a Flowbee?
Yes.
By the way, do you know why? Because he was the only one, not just of the Von Erichs, but of anybody back there at that world-class championship wrestling at the Sportatorium that wrestled barefoot.
Yes.
Remember that?
Of course I do. And he was, and
I never knew why.
it was his gimmick, and probably cheaper on wrestling boots
You know why Kerry wore boots, right?
because he needed tassels.
Kerry was missing half of one of his feet.
Oh,
Did you know that?
I did not.
He wrestled with half a foot. I think it was a birth defect.
maybe that was the reason why his Texas tornado looked kind of weird.
Oh, but it was so great.
It was.
You ever had an iron claw on you?
Yes.
Does it really make you bleed?
No.
I didn't think so. Like even back then, I was like, come on.
Now you can do it.
But you got to like pinch your fingernails or something into the temples, right?
You can do it that way, or of course the old school way of in your fingers is where you can hide blades.
Oh yeah. I meant like in real life if it's going to make somebody bleed.
You can
IRL, Colby. We call that IRL.
all right. You can sharpen fingernails and have it dig in. That'll.
Dude, I loved the iron claw, and when Kerry did it, he'd do. He'd throw the head punch. And then go again, do the head punch, and then he'd spin around a couple times, and then it looked like he was throwing another head punch, but he'd go bam, and he'd stick the iron claw, and then it was over. It was over.
My good has to be Emmitt Smith.
I'm getting excited about wrestling.
But of course, also Kevin Von Erich, just because those are my two favorite people on this list.
Yep.
My bad, it's got to be Ryan Leaf, even though he's doing good now. That NFL career should have been a little bit better, but
Man, it was disappointing.
And my ugly, dude, I got to go with John Smoltz.
Okay. Yep.
Great dude, and damn near almost the face for radio, though.
Yeah, but he's on TV and he's got the beard and
Yep.
keeps it trimmed short, but he's still kind of got the bug eyes and the bad complexion and
Face kind of looks like a football.
yeah, he looked a lot better when he wore a baseball hat because his hairline's a little funked up right now.
Well,
But yeah, but he's a gooder. He's a gooder, right?
he's definitely a gooder.
All right. Colby, as we mentioned earlier in the show, we crowned a champion here in the DFW area. We're a champion in the sport of football.
From Arlington.
Across the street from the Death Star.
Uh-huh.
They play in a baseball stadium.
Not anymore. It's now an arena football stadium.
It's not arena.
No. Just a football
It's a soccer stadium and a football stadium. I mean, if you want to go there.
I'm here.
But Colby, it wasn't the Cowboys.
Nope.
And they only have 5 more to go to catch the Cowboys? Or 4 more? There's 4 more to go. Catch Cowboys. Sorry, maybe I'm a Steelers fan now. Gross. I just threw up my mouth when I just said that.
I don't even want to know who you are right now.
Colby, we talked about it last week on Wednesday, the upcoming DC Defenders versus the I almost said it. The Arlington Renegades.
Give them credit, man.
Dude, and you know what? I didn't give them a chance in this game, just like I did not give them a chance in the first playoff game against Houston. They just beat the 2 best teams in the league in consecutive playoff games to win the championship.
They did. And there was quickly, as soon as I put up on Facebook that Arlington Renegades XFL champions, hell yeah, or something like that. And a bunch of posts came in that said something along the lines of, below 500 team or 500 team ends up winning your championship. That means your league sucks or whatever. Okay.
It's not how it works.
That's not how it worked, guys. You end up playing who you play.
And you had a quarterback change.
Yes, you did. But also to the fact of it's a short season.
Mm-hmm.
It's a short season. It's a short playoffs. And because of that, you had the ability to make it into the playoffs.
Yep.
And then you play who's in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? You caught fire at the right time, as the Renegades did. Because not only did they win both of these games, it wasn't by like the hair of their chinny chin chin. It was pretty much game over, set match on both of those by the time that the fourth quarter came around.
In both games, they jumped out to quick starts, and I think they shocked the the opposing team and the opposing defense. By the way, the defensive coordinator for the DC Defenders, he's not a pushover.
Nope.
The vaunted Greg Williams. They showed Greg Williams on the sideline way more than they showed their head coach. He's clearly the star.
And of course, when they showed the head coach, a lot of times he was cussing, bud.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And you know what's funny is the DC Defenders are known in their home stadium there in Washington, there at Audi Field, for the beer snake.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what they weren't allowed to have inside the Alamo Dome?
A beer snake.
So do you know what and they already knew this because that was announced. Do you know what fans tried to do, Colby? They tried to bring an already existing beer snake. Check out this video, Colby. They were trying to bring their own beer snake with them. And you hear what they're saying? Wow! Yeah, making reference to the Washington Commanders, now, well, almost former owner, which I thought was great. Also, they tried to bring a beer snake with them, Colby.
I mean, first of all, congratulations to trying to stick to the bit for Defenders fans. That's amazing. I do kind of feel for the Defenders fan group because they really did get behind this team.
And I think they still will.
And they walked in and by the way, the Arlington Renegades fan base isn't nearly as tied to the team as the Defenders fan base is.
But they're good.
They are good. But I'm hoping that the XFL goes another season, and really starts to kind of sink in that, hey, this is a thing.
It's okay to be a fan.
It's okay. I think that's what a lot of people are worried about when attaching themselves to the XFL or the USFL or anything. It's a lesser product than the NFL. NFL's not playing right now, bud. It's not. And the other thing that I noticed through watching throughout the season of both the last time the XFL was on and then this current one, it gets a lot better really quickly.
Right.
Your quarterback play actually looked decent. Is it amazing? I mean, you are going to have people from the XFL, like I think DiNucci's now a Bronco.
Well, he's working out with the team.
Right.
But see, yeah, and this is here's the problem that fans are going to have is you get tied to the team, you get tied to a quarterback who takes you to a deep playoff run, and that quarterback may not be there the following year. Jordan Ta'amu for DC is already having tryouts. Luis Perez for the Renegades probably going to have some tryouts, although I think he'll be back. He's just never really caught on in any other leagues. But so that's and other players. You know, the first incarnation we had of the Renegades, they had a star tight end, Donald Parham.
Right.
He's now 2 seasons in with the Chargers. So you're going to lose player. And that's the point of the league, though, is for these guys to showcase themselves so they can then get to the dream, the big show, the NFL. So fans are just going to kind of have to get used to it. It's no different than being a fan of, say, the Frisco Rough Riders. You know what? You get to become a fan of a really good player. Well, if he's that good, you know what? He's gone to the big club, the Rangers, the next season.
Right. And
you just, they bring them in, and it's really the attitude that you have to take.
And of course, the even greater part of that is there's a lot of times that you went through like the NFL draft or whatever, and say a quarterback like DiNucci or somebody like that doesn't end up latching on with a team.
Right.
They have another opportunity now to get back to the drawing board, find themselves, and try that one more time. I would have loved to have seen, like, after Vince Young kind of gave up on the NFL, if there was an XFL.
Yeah.
Because he still had years left before he got fat. I would have loved to have seen, an opportunity for him to go play somewhere else that was televised, that you could still see his talents. And I think he would have been back once, he was under the mustaches rule.
Right.
But stuff like that, just, people that you're like, man, I think they're better than what they got the shot for. Well, guess what? They have another opportunity, and it will be with the XFL. But the championship happening, I was just shocked. I was shocked watching it because I thought that the Renegades it was amazing that they made it there. That's cool. But this is the Defenders game to win.
Right.
And it wasn't, bud.
You want to see a couple of plays? I got some highlights here.
Sure do.
Like I said, the Renegades jumped out to a quick 14-0 lead. Here was their first score.
Playing guard. He's the O-line coach at Wingate University. And on the trip over, he was making recruiting calls. Pressure coming, 3rd and 13. Here's Sal Canella. First down and room to run. Touchdown, Arlington. Beat the blitz for a 41-yard score.
That's the Renegades' favorite play, that little slant. I don't know how many touchdowns they've scored this year with that slant. And then they scored on their second drive.
He came in as an 8.5-point favorite. The live line is moving rapidly. Perez gets out of pressure. End zone. Caught. Cinderella has entered the building. It's another touchdown for Arlington. It's
into a pretty small.
And, they kind of, after this, I think they scored every possession they had. I don't know, the first 5 possessions of the game.
Boy.
They had 1 field goal mixed in there.
They did. And he nailed it.
And, of course, he nailed it. The defender scored right before the half, to sort of turn momentum a little bit. And then they had momentum, or they had the ball to start the second half. I can't remember what all. And then that drive, I believe it finished this way.
Ready. There it goes. That's 2nd and 8. Tom dances out of the tackle. Fires to the end zone, and it's intercepted.
Get the ball picked off in the end zone.
But there's a flag down. The pick for Arlington.
The defense came up big, so then the Renegades go on to score. That's 35, I think. The defenders late in the 4th went down and scored a touchdown. They got it to. Then they missed the whatever the conversion was. I think they were going for 2, but they were still within striking distance. So they tried what you can do in the XFL, which I think is so great. Instead of an onside kick, if you are tied or trailing in the 4th quarter,
the 4th and 15,
you can do a 4th and 15 from the 25, and they still had a chance because they were just still 1 score down. And this is how that.
There you go. Needs 15 yards to keep the game alive. Over the middle, it is tipped and intercepted.
Hip drill.
Back on his feet to return his Kramer LeBlanc.
And that ended your game.
Arlington gets the ball back with 1:08 to play.
Scoring play before that, to where the defenders actually made it into the end zone before they tried that. The scoring play, our defensive end almost got to the quarterback. It was really close. And so seeing that, I was like, 4th and 15, he's going to have to be back there for a little bit. And sure enough, if you watch that play, you can see that the corner was cut by the defensive end. And that really is kind of what sped up everything and made the guy feel like he needed, the quarterback really feel like he needed to get rid of the football. And it was really a good game to watch because it was never totally in question. It's the perfect championship game.
But it got exciting at the end.
Yes. It got exciting enough at the end that you were like, okay, got to watch this all the way through. But it was never totally like, oh, it could be over with.
Right.
And so that for me is the perfect championship game when I'm cheering on a home team.
Because again, in the XFL, even a 16-point lead is still a 2-possession game.
That's dumb.
An 18-point lead is a 2-possession game because you can go for a 3-point conversion. They don't kick extra points in the XFL. You have a 1-point conversion, 2-point conversion, 3-point conversion. And that's why you see a lot of 6-9 or 6-12 scores because they almost always go for the 2-point conversion, which is from the 10, or I'm sorry, from the 5, 3 points from the 10. Everybody almost goes for the 2, but it's, I don't know, 50% successful. So you see a lot of 12-6, whatever scores, and that's why they didn't miss an extra point. They went for 2 and didn't get it.
I think the things that I would love to see the NFL take from the XFL is I do love the way the kickoffs are done.
Man, I do too.
In the XFL. And I also love the idea of making the extra points like they are as far as they're all conversions.
Yep.
So it's
and here's what I think about that. And I love them when the NFL made them move they moved the extra points back.
Right.
To a 33-yard field goal. That I don't know why they didn't do that years ago. I think they should make them go for 2 in the fourth quarter. You score in the fourth quarter, you got to go for 2.
Right.
Or like I'm even good with eliminate, and I think we've talked about this before. I would love to see the NFL, if you're in the opposing territory, the other side of the 50, you can't punt. You got to either go for it or kick a field goal. So if you're at the 45, you're not going to kick a field goal. You have to, on 4th down, you have to go for it.
Right.
Like, I would love to see something like that, and then again, I love the kickoff. For those that don't know, it's not a traditional NFL kickoff. They still kick off from the 35, but the opposing players are only lined up 5 yards apart in the receiving territory. I think it's like the 35 and the 40 or something like that. The kicker has to kick the ball inside the 20, but not into the end zone,
right?
Or it's an illegal kick and they get the ball like at the 45. But the players cannot move until the receiver catches the ball, until the person catching the kickoff catches the ball. They have to be still. It cuts down on injuries because you don't have all these high-speed impacts from the blockers. You don't get a lot of blindside blocks, and it really opens up. We saw lots of running lanes, and I watched every game this season. And you had guys, the kickoffs, they didn't score. I think they only had 1 return for a touchdown all year, but most of them were, way deep into territory.
Right.
It's more exciting.
It made it more. And of course, if you up the speed and everything of the athletes that are doing it, you're going to have more touchdowns happening, and also a better chance of they just scored and you don't have a lot of time left, but we've got the kickoff.
Mm-hmm.
We can try something now. And it's just a lot more in that would, elevate. I think the NFL is the best that we have as far as the sports are concerned, but I think it would elevate even more. Of course, the NFL is not worried about that because they're the best. It seems like once leagues are on top, they don't worry about it until they're not on top anymore.
Yeah.
Somebody go holler at baseball and see if they're okay.
I mean, the one thing that the NFL took from the original, 2001, 2002 XFL, Skycam.
That's true.
The XFL originated the Skycam, the cable cam, whatever you want to call it. And it's awesome. And the NFL adopted it. And of course, the NFL and the XFL now have a partnership. And the NFL uses the XFL to test new rules and to test things to see how it will work. So you never know what they're going to pull from the XFL. We'll see.
The only thing that I wish they would take from the old XFL was, instead of not having a coin toss, just putting the ball in the middle.
Make them run for it.
God,
talk about injuries.
That was amazing.
He hate me.
I think he hate me died a couple of times out there trying to win the coin toss.
God, that was awesome. Take us a break, Colby.
So coming up next, we've got the greatest thing about baseball. I just took a shot at baseball. The greatest thing about baseball today, stupid things that Timm found on the internet. 'Cause I found things, I just never reported them to Timm. And then the Sports Illustrated cover debate is happening right here on the Colby Sapp IndyCarTim show. But News and Notes is also happening. That's the final hour. And the show that I just said, we're going to break. Be back.
Hello, sports fans. Fanstream Sports.
Hey, you like golf? There's a good chance you do, because I said so. But what do you need playing golf? Well, you need clubs, right? Clubs, you need balls. The thing that people don't usually think about is that golf bag. And that's what most people see when they look at your golf clubs, like right off the bat. And if you've got a raggedy bag, it's not doing you any favors, bud. So get you a new bag. Go over to orca-golf.com. Orca-golf.com. Why are you going there? You're going there because you want a golf bag, but you want one that's kind of screams you. So you want to pick the colors. Well, you can use your own custom colors. Maybe you have a logo in mind. Maybe it's your logo. You're like Prince. You just have a symbol. That's the case. Dude, you can get your logo on there. Your name, just get it done exactly like what you want it done. by actual designers. Nothing goes out of their factory without the approval of the founder, Erica Bennett, who is just brilliant. We've seen some of her bags. We've got one of them actually in the studio. You know what? Dude, it looks good. If you want other people to look at your golf setup and go, man, that just screams Frank. You want that? Then go over to orca-golf.com. Do yourself a favor and use the promo code DSP10 for 10% off and free shipping. I'll say that again, DSP10 for 10% off and free shipping. So do it today because Orca Golf is the best choice in the game.
Hi, golfers. IndyCarTim here. I want to talk to you a little bit about Golf Central Magazine. It's not just a golf magazine. It's the magazine for everything: turf, travel, philanthropy, and lifestyle. Head over to golfcentralmag.com and check out the latest issue. Some of the regular features in Golf Central Magazine: the Golf Bachelorette of the Month, the Golf Bachelor of the Month, the Golf Cart Girl of the Month, Golf History, Grip It and Sip It. So head over to golfcentralmag.com. It's free. It's the magazine for everything: turf, travel, philanthropy, and lifestyle. Golf Central Magazine at golfcentralmag.com. We'll see you there.
All right, guys, time to talk a little bit about Turf Life. You've seen the hats on our heads. You've been or seen the video of the studio. You've seen that the decals are all over the place. Turf Life, man, it's the brand that salutes the consumer and industry players everywhere whose lives involve turf. What does that mean? That means if you play or have a business, or, you know, maybe you're a sports educator, you're going to be on turf at some point. So you live the turf life. So go ahead and tell everybody you live the turf life by having your Turf Life window decal, or, you know, the hat or the keychain or the something. Along that lines, just go to Turflife.club.com and become a turf head. That's what it's called when you live the turf life. You're now a turf head. And you can go join the club today, snag that window decal, or snag any other special Turf Life accessories, and go over there to that website, which is Turflife.club.com, and get your stuff and show everybody that, man, I'm all about that turf life. And then you just kind of raise your coffee mug at them and go, yeah, turf life, baby. That's what it's about. And then that's the end of the commercial. Ding. That means it's done in microwave talk.
Hey, listeners, make sure you check out the brand new FanStream Sports in-studio text line. You can reach us during any of our live shows or 24/7 at 214-937-0569. That's
Never forget you done something stupid like that.
0569. Text us 24/7, day or night, and we'll reply to you and make you part of the show.
Coming back at you. Now, more FanStream Sports.
That was funny, Colby.
Ding. That means it's done in microwave talk.
Welcome back to the Colby Sapp IndyCarTim show right here on FanStream Sports, live from the DSP Media Podcast Studios in Dallas. A bit rainy, a little bit chilly, I think, a little bit earlier. I don't know. I mean, I got wet.
There's some things and people forgot. I mean,
made me wet, Colby.
Gross. There was quite a few people on the way in today that all of a sudden it started and they were startled by the rain and they just stopped learning how to drive or knowing how to drive.
I hate when that happens.
It's so irritating. Oh no, it's droplets.
Hey, when were we gonna do Sports Illustrated? You want to do that right now?
We can do that right now.
I don't know. We really didn't talk about it.
I mean, well, you had down here talking about Dallas Stars Game 7 tonight.
Oh, you want to do it over there? We'll
yeah.
Do it over
there. At that spot as we pre-show.
Yeah.
In the middle of the show.
Yeah. Welcome to the pre-show meeting that we're having halfway through the show.
Well, we had things happening before the show.
We did. We were a little busy.
Yeah.
Colby, I've got a couple of things, and this whole segment is going to kind of be an S show.
Okay.
It's all going to be a little bit intertwined because I found some very funny things. One of them is something I'm unaware of. I have not been to a live baseball game this year. I mean, I wanted to.
Right. I mean, the baseball season's still going. You can.
I know. I still have time for sure.
Right.
But I've found, again, I'm educated by TikTok these days. All right. That's pretty much all I do.
Oh, dear. So you're dumb?
We already knew that, right?
Right.
Doesn't surprise you.
No.
So I found this little gem, and I would like your opinion of it.
Okay.
As we watch the TikTok here on FanStream Sports.
This is now illegal in baseball because MLB players have started playing a game during the national anthem, where two players stand for the anthem, then continue to stand after the anthem is over. 2 players compete on who can stand on the field the longest. This results in a standoff that lasts minutes, confuse umpires, angry umpires, and usually ends when the umpire finally gets pissed enough to scare someone to break. But this weekend, an umpire finally had enough. Cutter Crawford and Matt Strom were in a battle so long that the pitcher had already finished warming up. The umpire not only made them stop, he immediately ejected them both from the game before it even started. Both these pitchers were fined, and with the new pitch clock rules, these standoffs may become a thing of the past. But should these players really be punished for it?
Is that not like the funniest thing you've heard around baseball in a long time?
It is.
So basically, you got 2 players out for the national anthem. You know, they usually line up in front of the dugout.
Right.
They got their hats. They hold it over their hearts, whatever, and they're respecting the flag and America and all that good stuff. But then it stops. Everybody goes back to the dugout. The pitcher starts warming up. Crowds are finding their seats. And you still have 1 player from each team that's just standing there still with his hat over his heart still and just sitting there still. And it's a standoff.
First of all, I wonder, is somebody nominated? Did they let you know beforehand that
you're the guy?
You're our standard today. You're the standard. And secondly, I'm so glad. I'm sure somebody in this has had to be the guy that's standing and just had give up and just after 30 seconds, like, all right, I want to go.
Right.
Out. But the epic ones, I don't know what else to say about it, except for if I was a fan and hadn't seen this TikTok, I wouldn't know what's going on. They're not going to show it on TV.
No, they're not going to show it on TV because that's a commercial break. They don't even show the national anthem sometimes on TV,
right.
And I'm not sure that if I saw this in person, I would have known what was going on. I probably would have started giggling.
Right.
And that's my question. Oh, crap, that was almost dangerous. So that's a question. Like he brought it up at the very end. Should these players be punished for this?
No.
I don't think so either.
They shouldn't be punished for it. I mean, if you want to fine the team or somebody that's got all the money, that's fine. But don't punish the players for, because it's obviously a competition.
I don't think they should even fine anybody. They should just say, look, man, we're about to start the game. If you won't leave the field.
Right.
Well, then we're going to talk about something. But I mean, they're out of the line of play.
You know what? Just let them stay out there. And if they're the pitcher for that's not going to pitch that day at all, then yeah, umpire eject them from the game.
Dude, I think it's freaking awesome.
Now,
I love this for baseball.
Now you get to go home, right?
It's great.
So each person pick a person that wants, and then if you stay long enough till you get ejected, then you get to go home.
And I would love to hear how this started, like what and how long it's been going on. Like he just mentioned it started this year, but you never know. Like, is there at some point some guy just kept standing there, and then you wonder if like somebody from the other team's like, oh, well, what am I missing? I'm just going to stand here too. And then It just like evolved to other teams found out about it. Like, I want to know how this evolved.
It just started probably like that. Like most things in baseball that are fun, it's just some grassroots thing that somebody started doing. Maybe the guy was, hard of hearing and he didn't know it was over yet.
He didn't know.
They had no idea. And
where'd everybody go?
Yeah. And then somebody else is out there standing, and then you look across, and there's another guy standing. You're like, well, I'm not leaving till that guy does.
I think this is amazing, man. I absolutely love this.
That is epic.
But no, they should not be punished. It's baseball's, you know what? You got the pitch clocks now that everybody's finally getting used to.
Right.
It's speeding up the game. Let them still have a little bit of fun, okay? And now you've got the fans that if they know about it, they can get involved from a betting aspect. Because, dude, there is so much. So let me ask you this, Colby. Neither one of us are really gamblers, right?
No.
There has not been a game that I have been to where I have not heard in earshot people gambling on something happening in the game. And it's usually, here's the biggest thing I've heard. At the end of an inning, whoever has the ball throws it to the pitcher's mound. Whether it's an infielder or an outfielder will carry it in, drop it, roll it. Dude, people will bet whether or not it lands on the dirt or it stays on the grass. I swear to God, I have heard this in so many baseball games that I've been to.
Where there's like grass or dirt.
And I just hear a guy, they'll say grass, he'll say dirt, or he'll say on, they'll say off. And that's what they're what they're betting on. Hey, $20 says it stays on the dirt. Well, 20, okay, and then it's going on the grass. Every inning at the end of it, just stupid stuff like that. Well, now you can say it's going to be, the Rangers guy that's going to stay out longer. It's going to be the Cardinals guy that stays out longer.
Or you can bet who, as they're standing out there, who do you think the stander is?
Yeah, which one's going to stay? That's perfect.
That would be amazing.
This is so great. We're going to morph this into the dumbest, because that's one of the coolest things I saw on social media this week, Colby.
Right.
Some of the stupidest things that I found on the internet, and we all love failed broadcasters, right?
Yes. As we're kind of that.
Very failed. And when an old white guy drops the N-word, it's always controversial.
I've seen this.
However,
you've sent it.
This is Glenn Kuiper. He is the TV guy for the Oakland A's. And I don't know who the dude is next to him in this video clip, but he's bearded. He's wearing the old English hat, whatever those are called.
Right.
And he's got some personality because they're talking about when they were in Kansas City. All right. They were doing a game in Kansas City. And he's trying to say, man, we had some of the best barbecue in town. And we got to go to the Negro League Museum. He did not say
no.
Negro, Colby. Let's watch the video.
We had a phenomenal day today. Negro League Museum and Arthur Bryant's Barbecue. We had a phenomenal day today. Negro League Museum and Arthur Bryant's Barbecue.
So here's the deal. This guy, it was called to his attention that he said it. His partner didn't even know he said it. There was no reaction from his partner.
No, his partner was giving mass respect.
He was.
The Negro League Museum.
I thought he was respecting the barbecue.
Boy, you know what? Just getting to there and saying it, my brain's like, don't say exactly what you heard him say in your head when they played that, because I'd already, oh my God, there's panic in my streets. Yes.
But so here's the deal. If you watch his mouth, if I was watching this with no sound,
right,
I swear he said Negro,
right?
Negro League. You can see him mouth the word O, right?
But it didn't come out.
But dude, the O sound did not come out. He didn't react like, oh crap. The other guy didn't like, what are you saying, dude? It was later in the game when it was brought to his attention and he had to apologize for it. And now he's been suspended.
Okay, he should have been suspended.
He should or should not?
He shouldn't have been suspended.
I agree. It clearly wasn't a racial slur.
No, they went to the Negro League Museum. He wasn't, maybe, I don't know. He was like, I can't even say that, that was fitted into his head because that's what he thought or whatever. It's that's just what came out.
Yeah.
If I was him, I'd just, like, hey, I love rap music. And it just, sometimes that's just the.
I mean, it was not. I mean, I get it. Clearly, when people say that, and usually they get caught like during a commercial with a hot mic,
right?
And they say it and they mean it, like exactly what it means. That's how they're using it, or they'll use the slur for homosexuals. That
right
used to not be bad, that we said all the time when we were younger, but we just called each other that.
Yes, I mean,
but
things weren't bad. Now they're bad.
Now, exactly. But clearly it was just either he misspoke or, again, like I swear to God, I watched it 100 times, dude. His mouths the O. It just didn't come out on the mic.
No. And
he clearly was not trying to degrade anybody. He was not being racist. That wasn't his intent.
No.
So you know what? Make him a dude in the same broadcast. You know what? Something came out of my mouth. I was totally misspoke. Did not mean anything. I humbly apologize to everybody that heard it. Let's go on to the 6th inning now. That's literally all that needed to happen.
I apologize to everybody that lives in this country of Nigeria.
Yes, I hate you people. So yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Yes, it was unfortunate, but he clearly did not mean anything by it.
And seeing that, I actually found a story, and this happened in Missouri, that kind of goes along with it. There was a teacher there. I won't do names or names of the student or the student's family or anything along that lines. But the teacher was discussing with the class, I guess studies were over with, and they were just, jawing back and forth.
Free time
a little bit. And the teacher, who was a white man, started trying to have an actual conversation because a lot of his class would, as a mixed class, would of, a bunch of races, a lot of the class, well, some of them would, of course, freely use the N-word. And I think some people in the class were getting mad because maybe one of the other kids that weren't of color was freely using as well, because I guess he was accepted in the group.
Right.
And he was like, all right, I don't like the use of that word by anybody in my class. And then he started trying to talk about the word, and he actually used it. Well, when he did, he was also being recorded by one of the students.
Without his knowledge, right?
Without his knowledge. So that student, according to their family, didn't put the video up on social media, but it did make its way to social media. So maybe somebody in the class said, hey, send me that video.
Right.
Or whatever. It made it. Now, the teacher was suspended for a little bit, but then was welcomed back. But the other side of it is that the person that took the video, she got suspended and is not allowed back at school for a while.
And she should.
No, I don't understand that part.
The person that recorded it and posted it getting suspended?
Well, she says she didn't post it.
Well, then she was the only one that had it. She had to have shared it.
She had to have shared it, and somebody else posted it, more than likely. I don't like the fact that she seemingly, because she's still not allowed to come back to class, but he is. I don't like the fact that somehow out of this mess, the person that was, recorded it got suspended longer than the person that said it.
Right.
I also didn't really like the fact that once you hear the conversation, it is a rational conversation trying to be had.
Right.
He should have been suspended because you still don't say it. You can have a conversation, like other words that you shouldn't say, especially in a classroom. You can discuss them without saying them. So yes, he should have been suspended. I do not like the fact that because she recorded what was happening, because that sets an awful precedence.
Right.
Because what if you record something that's happening that's awful? Now the precedence has been set for that person that recorded it. Now it's just on merit. It's just on how, good or bad the situation is. We can't have it fluctuating.
Nope.
So I do not like the fact that the person recording was suspended. I think maybe he should have had to apologized. I don't know if I agree with the teacher being, suspended.
Right.
Either. I think we are jumping to a lot of conclusions on a lot of things. I like with this sportscaster, the baseball guy. I don't like the fact that if there's can clearly be seen as no evil intent, and with him, it was just that came out, and where it's just because he swallowed part of the word or whatever, it wasn't intended. And we have to somehow police ourselves on what we can allow being labeled as offensive through intention. It's somehow got to be done. I don't have the answer for you how to do that.
Right.
But we got to find.
Well, this is a good example of how to start.
Right.
Clearly there was no intent. Literally he misspoke. But
now,
again, like you watch the video, I swear to God, he mouths the word "oh." It doesn't come out on the which, you know what? Again, if it was so egregious, his partner that's there to his right would have been like, you would have seen a reaction like, oh my God, dude, he didn't flinch.
He did not. And that,
unless he's racist too.
Well, the other side of it is, and you've done this a few times, even on this show. You're not hearing what the other person's saying because you're waiting to say what you need to say.
True. Yes.
So you're not actually
Wait, what did
paying.
you just say?
You're not actually paying enough attention to really dissect what the other person has said because you're coming up with your own words.
Right.
And that might have been because he knew where he was going.
Yep.
So he's probably more concentrating on the much love thing that he was doing, look at me, look at me, look at me, as you know, a lot of
He had a
people-
little bit going himself. Yeah.
right. So he may have not have paid attention.
Jesus.
And it's actually good that he didn't go shock and awe and start lighting fireworks at that moment, you know?
Oh, for sure.
Because if he was like, "Oh, what did you say?"
Then he should have been suspended.
Dude, that is horrible. I mean, it's not good. It's not good. That's there's worse situations, but that's a pretty bad one.
Colby, I found some other things on the internet. These are failed internet posts that I thought would be fun.
I love failed internet posts.
Found all this on
Reddit?
drivepedia.com.
Okay.
Never heard of it before, but it was funny. And they're just basically, oh, wait, before we get to that, I forgot what this video was, so I'm just going to play it.
Just did a $1 hot dog night in Philadelphia, and it was complete chaos. Also, a massive success. Over 43,000 fans came to the stadium for a chance to buy a hot dog for $1. The stadium only holds 42.9 thousand. The lines to get one of these hot dogs once the game started were absolutely insane, and they sold an unbelievable 58,000 plus hot dogs. But towards the end of the game, things got crazy. According to one fan, it all started when someone was trying to eat as many hot dogs as possible. He got up to 13 hot dogs, but needed more. So fans started throwing hot dogs at him so he could eat them. This spiraled out of control, and since the Phillies were losing, the entire stadium started throwing hot dogs at each other. However, this hasn't deterred the Phillies. They already have 2 more $1 Dog Night games scheduled before the end of May.
That's amazing. So you're just going to go. I mean, first of all, $1 per, ammunition. That's not bad. When you look at the inflation.
I mean, look, the Rangers do $1 hot dog nights at home games on Wednesdays. They have for years and years and years. My record is 17 in a 9-inning game.
17.
And it wasn't because I was trying to eat 17. I was just really hungry, and they're $1.
This is true.
So
I mean, that's about as full as you can get for $17,
right?
So
yes, $1 hot dog night at the Phillies. Okay. And I also have this. There's 2 things here before we get into that other thing. This was posted on Twitter. Obviously a basketball fan. Lakers games. One of the most famous Lakers fan of all time. Actor
What?
Jack Nicholson. They don't even put his name on the screen. They'll show him on TV and they just say Jack because that's all they have to say. This dude took a screenshot of it and said they show him every time and I have zero clue who he is.
he's trolling, right?
It's Jack Nicholson.
I know, but
Is he?
This guy's got to be trolling, right?
Dude, this made me literally angry.
I mean, it hasn't been that long since Jack has been in something, right?
No, I mean, he's still relevant.
Maybe not. Obviously not. Not course of Obi Toppin Indonesia.
Okay. Well, we don't know how old he is. He could be 12.
He could be.
Colby, the other thing that we found was a little bit more notable on Twitter from a professional athlete. This blew my mind. I don't know what they teach kids in school these days. I know it's nothing. My kids hadn't learned crap.
Right.
We've had this conversation before here.
Mhm.
But this guy's a little bit older. A professional football player, Marlon Humphrey with the Ravens. I was today years old when I found out the Titanic was real. That's wild. Okay, first of all, you're going to have to explain to me what this means. I know what low key means.
Right.
What does it mean in this context? He says that's wild low key.
It's like seriously low key, not to make a whole lot about it.
Well, you should.
It's wild.
Okay, that's stupid. He didn't know the Titanic was a real thing. He thought it was only a movie.
You know what? That's fine.
No, it's not.
It's okay, Tim. I love this is what it feels like to know more than people.
Just kill me now, dude.
They didn't have to go, and the game is resetting. Oh my God, I'm about to find the remote.
Oh, is it really?
It just went to YouTube TV.
Oh, Johnny must have logged in.
Jerk. You know what?
Isn't it still? Put it on one of these other TVs. Okay, you go do that. I'm going to introduce the segment here about some other things that I found on the internet that made me angry and people who failed miserably at their attempts. That's number 2, by the way. Look on the back of it. Make sure it's number 2. Who failed miserably at their posts at interneting. As we get to the first one, as somebody says, hard-boiled eggs are disgusting. I almost died eating one. The crunchy soft mix is absolutely disgusting. It's like eating a ravioli covered with chips.
Okay.
And then someone says, you're supposed to remove the shell.
I mean, you don't have to remove the shell, but it's probably smart too.
Another totally failed internet post. No English word has double O except good. Prove me wrong. Somebody said, book. Try reading one.
I hate those.
What about look? What about, I mean,
yeah.
Come on. Another person has a problem with facial recognition. If you use facial recognition for anything, the government has your face. Somebody replied, wait until you find out about driver's licenses.
Or really and truly, if you've passed by a street light at any point in your life, Jesus, or anything along that lines. But yes, driver's license.
And then one of my favorite ones on here, because, you know, I'm grammar police, Colby. I call people out on Facebook and on social media when they don't grammarly correct or don't grammar correctly. If you don't know the difference between there, and there, you're an idiot. And somebody replied, well, this is awkward. Number one, that's the wrong you're.
Right.
And it should be you're an idiot. I loved that one. Another person said, things I know about Brazil. Jungle, Jesus statue. Someone said, the Jesus statue is in Rio, you uneducated swine. So the person replied with a picture of Brazil with a dot where Rio is in Brazil.
Yes, it is.
You uneducated swine. I want to start using that. I like that a lot.
I do love the person that fires back in the comments that with like, and going way too far on their words, like uneducated swine.
This one's great because a guy's buddy calls him out on social media. So he took a picture of this old lady sitting alone at a table in a restaurant, another picture of him sitting next to her. He says, never let a stranger sit by themselves. You'll be surprised what tales they have to tell. Somebody replied, bro, this is your grandma. We go to church together. Come on. Totally called him out. And this is something out of News and Notes, Colby. An Oak Hill community couple discovered a thief in their home Saturday after a man told a joke and they heard him laughing upstairs.
That's dumb.
Just laughing at the joke. And he got busted.
They didn't know he was there. How creepy is that? Where you're like, hey, hun.
He was laughing.
You just throw joke out there like, hey, a pirate walked in a bar with a steering wheel hanging out of his zipper. And you know what the pirate said? He goes, no. He's like, oh, it's driving me nuts. And then you just hear laughter upstairs.
I wonder if he was clapping too. And they call me. We always talk about how stupid people are on the planet. All right. People who don't know the Titanic is real.
Right.
So someone posted a picture of a very bald tire on a car. And she said, I just finished sanding my tires so that my car will ride smoother on the interstate. And honestly, I kind of love this look. Somebody replied, that's a smooth way to see God.
You just made your expensive tires into racing slicks.
Right. But they're not made that way.
They're not made. Sanded her tires.
To bald.
Can you imagine? I keep saying, can you imagine? But just walking in and seeing like your wife just with a belt sander to your tires. I don't understand.
I don't date people that stupid. Well, I'll probably never mind. I'm not going to say that.
You think maybe okay, did she have the wherewithal to take the tire off, or you think she tried to sand it while they were on?
Oh, there's no way she knew how to take a tire off.
But she could take a sander to her.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Guarantee you. And this is for all the people whose moms really do funny things because they don't understand things. You have a picture of a text conversation with pictures of the girl's mom. It says, throwback to when the car insurance lady asked for my mom front, rear, and side views, but she didn't get the memo. The mom instead sent front, back, and side views of herself. And the text conversation is sent her. Ava, I guess, is the mom sending the pictures. That felt weird. Thanks. Hope everything's okay. The insurance agent replied, thanks. You look very nice, but need pictures of your vehicle.
Oh, dear. I don't know how, if I was the insurance person, how I would have responded.
I would have just said, can you send me pictures of your car? We're insuring your car. Yeah! Here we go, Colby. There's one.
There's one.
There's one. We need two more. I mean, theoretically.
We just need it, as long as it stays like this, we just need this.
That's still. That hints? Yeah.
That's Rupe.
Dude, he is by far the best player on the team in these playoffs.
He went top shelf.
Cookie jar.
Woo!
Wow.
That is huge.
That is massive because what did I say at the beginning? A close game is going to favor the Kraken.
Well, the other side of it is that for those that have been watching in these playoffs, Stars score first.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good, buddy.
And I love that it was on a steal, too, like that.
They've been having trouble. Of course, you know, where the Kraken are really good at is in between the blue lines. And so getting something back and getting it through and beating that middle check, or I don't even know what you call it, but I know in the blues, between the blue lines, the Kraken are just amazing. And getting that, that's great.
That was amazing. I loved it.
Just hold your water for 3 minutes and let them at least go in.
Yeah, get out of the period.
Yeah, as we often try to do.
Pretty sure I said that to one of my dates.
Mm-hmm. Hey, we'll just wait till you get out of the period.
Get out of your period. Colby.
Exclamation mark.
A Punjab candidate cried after getting only 5 votes for whatever local election he was running for because there's 9 members in his own family.
Oh, my dear God.
His own family didn't even vote for him.
Well, maybe they didn't vote for anybody. Maybe they were just so sure that,
Colby.
How many times have you went for Punjab?
Man, how much time do you have?
Is that anything like? I mean, I've always heard Grand Poobah.
Right?
Is that?
I'm pretty sure there's probably a Grand Punjab.
It's Punjab.
I mean, I don't know. It's probably a city or a town in India, right?
It sounds like okay. All right,
Punjab.
We'll have to find out what. I'm sorry that we're uneducated, vile. You know, whatever you want to. Yeah,
Punjab.
Just look up and see what that is.
It's a state in India, Colby.
Okay.
It borders Pakistan in the heart of India's Sikh community.
Gotcha.
Founded in the 1570s.
We probably should have been more aware of it.
Known in English as the Golden Temple, surrounded by the pool of nectar, it's a major pilgrimage site. Oh, I probably should have known. I mean, we studied pilgrims in school.
Not the exact. Oh,
I mean,
sure.
Thanksgiving, the first thing, right? Pilgrims.
Yeah. Well, I'll just let you keep going with it.
I mean, tell me I'm wrong.
I won't, Tim.
That's what I thought.
Not on this.
Colby, this is a family surprise for their child gone wrong.
Uh-oh.
As my dad wanted to surprise my little sister with Disney World by making her do a word puzzle, she got stuck here. All she spelled out was, "We are going to die."
She got to that and so was out.
She's like, "Daddy, I don't want to know anymore." Oh, and then this is my favorite one, talking about stupid people. Somebody put an ad or whatever of a USB-C charger, and it just shows both ends of it. It says Type C for fast charging. Someone typed the letter C in reply.
Hey, they're just following directions, man. They're hoping that it'll help their phone charge.
How long do you think she waited for her phone to charge?
Just hoping. Man, it's at 12%. Man, maybe it'll work.
They were wrong. Type C is not fast charging.
It's not.
And then finally, Colby, the last one I have of the stupid internet things I found. Do you consider yourself lucky or unlucky in life?
A good, healthy mix of unlucky with just a tad of luck.
All right. Well, tell me what you think about this person and how they live life, as they picked lottery numbers. 2, 9, they picked 3, 8, 17, 24, and 37.
Oh, dear.
The numbers drawn were 2, 9, 18, 25, and 38. They were one number off on all 5 numbers. I mean, at this point, you just kill yourself, right?
Well, I don't know what to tell you at this point. You were so close.
You just can try again.
You were so close. You were one off. You were literally one off everything.
Everything.
That's a lot better than being, like whatever the good payout is, or if you got 3 right or 4 right.
Right.
But you get 3 right and the other 2 are off by a number. This one, every one of them was. So you really had there was no chance for hope. As soon as the 2 popped up and you had 3, you're like, okay, I'm not getting it.
Right.
So, yeah.
But at some point you realize every number
is off by 1.
Is 1.
It was a pencil slip away.
Like, did they not have second prize
in
the lottery?
Yeah, I don't think.
Dude, they should like give that, because I know if you get like 4 numbers, you get something, or you match 3. If you're off 1 number on every one, you should get something.
Yeah, but no.
Other than a kick in the nuts.
Just a kick in the nuts is all you need.
Enough of those. I don't need any more kicks in the nuts.
By the way, we made it. We made it to the end of the period with nothing going into our basket. So it is 1-0 heading into the 3rd period.
Oh, and the Golden Knights are the next victim of whoever wins this series tonight.
Oh,
I didn't realize that series was over.
It was over last night, I think it was.
Was it? Yeah, I was probably drunk.
Yeah, more than likely.
So yes, crossing my fingers for the Stars. Colby, an update on my heart. I don't have my blood pressure monitor with me.
Okay, good.
But while we were going over that last segment, I checked it, and I'm alive still.
This is good.
I'm alive still. My pulse is not racing after that score. I feel a little bit better. However, it is still Game 7 of an NHL playoff game in round 2. It's literally anything can happen still. It's not tied. It's not overtime. But overtime is just 1 freaking shot away.
Well, I went from, while doing the podcast, I was at 57 beats a minute, and I'm now at 75 because of the jumping up and down for the score. So
I thought you had to go to the bathroom.
No. I was excited. I was excited.
Well, that's
about
good
that.
to know.
We do have a little bit.
Wait, how?
What was that? Mark that. What was that? That was like something trying to escape you for a second.
You can hear that?
Yes. Is it?
That was my throat making noise. Because I just swallowed some beer and it hadn't gone down all the way. And I opened my mouth and it was.
Because there was no other noises, so of course I heard that.
It was right in the microphone too. Oh my God, I gotta find that. Where are we at?
Yes, you'll need
138. All right, I'll figure that out. Because I felt it. You should have felt it. It was even better.
I don't know. I've been really too close to you for my comfort if I felt it.
I forgot. That's what she said. I forgot what I was even going to say. What did I just say before that disturbing noise? I don't
know, because after that noise, I forgot everything that was going on. I was about to segue into Sports Illustrated covers, but
oh yeah, let's do that.
Okay,
I might make more noises.
That's our segue noise right now. Congratulations.
Got tickled the back of my throat.
I mean,
Mark.
Sure. So we did get some things happening with the Sports Illustrated swimsuit cover. That, by the way,
my favorite time. Wait, why is this just now coming out?
I don't know.
It comes out in February.
I don't know. I don't know why this is making rounds. Maybe I don't have the answer to that. I just saw it on the social media feeds, and I hadn't really seen because I wasn't even aware there was 2 covers, by the way. The only cover that got shared a bunch where I could actually see it was the Martha Stewart cover.
Would you?
How old is Martha Stewart?
I believe she's 70.
This
It's a shame we can't confirm that anywhere.
I mean, I could internet. By the way,
Here, I got you.
We could internet that. I mean, the fact that I'm actually 70.
Martha Stewart. Oh God,
is 81.
She's 81, Colby, and her middle name is Helen.
Actually, that last bit of information was information I didn't need.
Dude, 80 freaking 1.
So Martha Stewart at 81 years old.
She was born before World War II came to America.
Yes. Did it?
She was born in August of 41. America entered World War II December 8th of 41. The day after the bombing, the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor.
So Martha Stewart jumps into what was just, it's not a bikini. It's a single, whatever.
You want me to go and throw it up there?
Go ahead and throw it up there.
I mean, I probably would.
Now, this is, of course, dolled up and brushed up and everything along that lines, but still, 81 years old.
And you can brush it up enough to look like that?
That's amazing.
Colby, I need to go find me an 81-year-old tonight. Do you know where they hang out? Nursing homes?
Probably at senior citizens.
They're nursing home clothes.
I mean, probably.
I think they're all in bed.
I also don't think that any of the 81-year-olds are going to look like that.
So, I mean, you close your eyes, they all look the same.
So, way to go, Martha Stewart. And Megan Fox is 30.
I mean, men take it better.
36, I believe. Her birthday's tomorrow.
Oh, is she really that old?
If you would have asked me, I'd have thought she was older.
Really?
Yeah.
Megan Fox and her toe thumbs are 37.
37.
Wow.
37 years old.
She looks pretty good, Colby.
Man, well, it's Megan Fox. The whole, from Transformers on. I used to get very irritated when people would be like, man, Megan Fox is in all the movies and she can't act. And I just that's not the reason why she's in movies, pal.
Doesn't have to act.
She doesn't. And their complaint is that she just always plays Megan Fox. Okay. Well, she plays different characters as Megan Fox would play those characters. Okay.
Dude. So you were not, we know you're not a sitcom fan, right?
I am not, no.
Are you familiar with the sitcom 2.5 Men?
I am familiar as far as that was
that
the Charlie Sheen vehicle. Correct?
Charlie Sheen, John Cryer, yes. So she made an appearance very early on that show.
Okay.
And I can remember, and she played some slutty little 16-year-old, whatever. Well, I'm sure she was older than that at the time, hopefully, because I bought Dirty Things. But so she was on that show, and I can remember, holy crap, I have to know who this person is. And I remember looking it up online and finding out her name was Megan Fox. And it wasn't long after that, a couple of years, she was doing movies and stuff, right? But no, you're right. She has just been stunningly gorgeous throughout her existence.
I mean, and she's got a little upstairs, not a lot, for how long she's had this relationship with Machine Gun Kelly.
Now, who is this?
That's
rapist.
He's now a pop artist.
Oh,
he's
okay.
I
think I see pictures of him on here.
If he was back in the day and he was a little cooler, he'd be along the same levels as Kid Rock.
Oh, okay.
As far as doing, multiple forms of music and such like that.
All right. Because I'm unfamiliar.
He did try to jump into the rap game and challenge straight up Eminem, which is, if you're going to, no one should do that.
I mean, you don't do that. Yeah,
right. You don't go at Marshall Mathers. He will rip you apart.
I just figured out that's where Eminem came from.
There you are.
Wow. The more you know.
The more you know. So yeah, you don't go after him. But he's done absolutely nothing yet gained a following because of, basically just hanging around famous people and being semi-talented at what he does.
Talk to you some more pictures.
I mean, if you got them, it's It's Megan Fox, and actually, you can see some of her toe thumb right there.
Yeah, that's why I'm changing it. This has her toe thumbs hidden. Colby, explain to everybody what toe thumbs are, because I guarantee there's people that love Megan Fox that know nothing about this.
Do yourself a favor and this was just one of those things that was found via scrutinizing pictures of different people, and then somebody realized that Megan Fox has toe thumbs. And basically, if you go look at your big toe or an average big toe and notice how it's formed, her thumbs look like that. Like she has, her really long fingers for her size and body and whatever. But then her thumb is that. It's a big toe.
God, I can't, Colby.
It's a big toe.
I just can't.
And there's absolutely nothing wrong with it.
It's a deformity.
If really and truly, if God was like, hey, you're going to be a female and you're going to look like this. The only problem is I have to make something on you not perfect.
Not perfect. It's going to be your thumbs.
Because you're going to be one of the most exotic looking white women that have ever walked the face of the planet.
You think she also has...
But you're going to need toe thumbs.
So if she has toe thumbs, do you think she has thumb toes?
Thumb toes? There's not going to be anything wrong with it. I mean, that is not like...
gross. I'm about to put another picture up here for you.
Okay, go ahead.
It is a side-by-side comparison of a normal thumb
to her toe thumb,
and then what she apparently suffers from.
It's not a suffering. It's like
ailment.
Finding a blemish on the world's great. Yeah, she's got toe thumb. And
God, I just can't.
The only thing that would really be, as far as like if you were like had toe thumbs yourself, would be I love playing video games. Can you play video games just as well with a toe thumb as you can with a regular thumb?
There's no way.
I don't know. That's the only thing I'd have to ask.
Isn't it missing a joint?
It's not missing a joint. You just got two bendy things in your thumb, one at the knuckle and one. Yeah, it's not missing a joint.
It's just a shortened end of it with a nail that looks like a toe.
It looks like a toe.
Okay, can we just focus on this for a second?
I mean, that's great. It's not
I just don't, man. You know me, I'm weird about stuff. I can't date chicks with a mole on their face.
Well, I think moles are, for the most part, a lot of them, if placed right.
No, look, when I say mole, I don't mean like a freckle mole. I'm talking about a raised piece of flesh hanging off of their face that makes you want to like gnaw on it when you get close enough. You wonder what it tastes like.
Then if you want to taste it, then why are you offended?
No, I don't want to taste it. I wonder what it tastes like. There's a difference. That's literally all I can think about, but it disgusts me.
Okay.
And everybody in the audience is like, this dude's weird.
You're super weird. You wonder what their, as it would be termed, a beauty mark tastes like.
Moles are not beauty marks.
That's what they're called.
Molten? I've never heard a mole called a beauty. I've heard birthmarks called beauty marks.
What would you... Okay, so like Cindy Crawford.
That's like a freckle mole. I guarantee you that is not raised half an inch off of her face.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
I've been with Cindy Crawford.
No, you haven't.
Just not on this earth. No, that's look, that, and I mean, I'm not a huge fan of that, but I get it. It's better. Let me find you an example of a mole face. All right. So we understand the difference.
I mean, you might feel bad here in a second.
Why, do you have a mole on your face?
No.
All right. All we see is, okay, here we go right here. And I don't know who this poor person is that I'm about to call out. All right. So we know the Cindy Crawford, right? Like that's, especially people consider that to be sexy.
It does. Yes.
Well, to me, that's a freckle. It's not a mole. And there's a difference between a freckle and a mole. All right. So here is an example of what I'm talking about. A fleshy piece of skin that is raised several centimeters. Yes, he's living in Canada. I'm using centimeters.
Okay.
Off of the surface of the face. Those are moles.
Those are multiple moles.
Well, but each one individually is just a mole.
Right.
But if you look at this beautiful woman, I'm sure she's beautiful in several other ways, to the left and to the far right, like those are little freckle moles, or just, I call that freckle. They're not like raised. This poor woman has one on the side of her mouth that looks like it's about to grow into a grapefruit. And then she's got another one almost dead center in the middle of her nose that looks like it's eventually going to be an automobile tire.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I just can't.
Is it the fact that they have color to them that's
No, I like nope, it's not the color. It's the fact that they have raised pieces of flesh on their skin, on their face. You know what? I could not romantically be involved with this woman or want to like kiss her mouth. And I think kissing is one of the most erotic things two people can do. I absolutely love to do that. I cannot put my mouth anywhere near that growth. That I guarantee you in the womb, she was triplets. Those are the other two right there. That's where they ended up.
Hey, Tim, do yourself a good, solid.
I just can't.
Favor.
What?
Just go.
I think I'm weird, don't you?
Yeah, I do. And
it doesn't bother you at all. Like that, you wouldn't even notice that.
So you haven't noticed that Sybil has.
I'm not romantically involved with Sybil.
Okay.
And I never will be.
No, this is true. This is true. She thinks you're ugly.
Well, I am ugly. I think I'm ugly too. Sybil's beautiful. I just look, Colby. Now you know.
I know.
Now you know. I will never kiss Sybil.
You know what?
I mean, I probably wasn't going to anyway.
Right.
Because she don't want to kiss me either. It's okay. How did we get here?
Yeah.
Me making out with your wife.
Toe thumb.
God, it was started by toe thumb, wasn't it?
It was started by toe thumb.
Jesus Christ. Are you ready finally?
I sure am.
Almighty.
Wow. I was trying to give you enough opportunity to dig out of that hole.
I couldn't.
And you just couldn't get there. All right. Thank you, Tim.
I'm gonna be in trouble. All right.
Thank you, me. Thank you for making it sound good. News and Notes is where I search the World Wide Web for the weird.
Internets.
And by God, I found it. Found it. Don't know how to.
Is there only one?
No, there's more, but
okay.
I'll get to as many as I can. Officials from the Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks came across a fishy situation last Friday after finding a firearm allegedly being used to fish. The Finney County Game Warden seized a 9mm handgun that was being used to take fish in Garden City. So they had to issue out an official warning, as Kansas officials now warn, please don't use guns to fish.
So they're just going to the pond
and just firing into the water.
Are they hoping they hit something, or are they aiming?
They're aiming. You know what? I'm going to be honest here. I don't see anything wrong with it.
I mean, I guess if it's a 9mm and the fish is big enough,
right,
it'll just leave a clean hole and maybe kill. You know what? That's not even to kill the fish.
Not unless you hit it.
Like the head.
Yeah.
It just seems like too much work.
I mean, you have to then wonder about, well, is it humane? Well, I don't know. Is it offering up food and then snatching them out of the water and then, cutting them and whatever else?
I don't think it's a humane issue because fish can't feel, right? We've discussed that before.
Yeah. I was trying to cut off the point before it was made.
Yeah. I don't know. It just seems like
I just
go to a restaurant and order some fish.
Or go fishing and, just don't take your AK out. And I guess we'll be fine.
Or a shotgun.
Or the people that used to fish with dynamite.
Oh, God. Literally, there's nothing left of the fish to eat.
There's not. So we'll go from there to Tacoma, Washington, where Tacoma police arrested a man. Why did they arrest him? Well, according to police, he broke into several dorms at specific Lutheran University. Female dorms.
I mean, we've all done that, right?
He broke in while they were asleep, and woke them up by groping them heavily. Once they woke up, he ran out of the room. How he was caught is that one of them woke up in time to grab their pepper spray, spray him, and chase him down the street, which they then got pictures of him and such like that.
Right.
He was then arrested. I got to say, though, dude, I mean, go to a strip club or something, bud.
Instead of breaking in, well, I mean, he may see what I saw.
Right.
And then not be interested in the strip club anymore. Although, you know what? In all fairness, you can find that same thing in a sorority house or whatever.
Right.
In a dorm room.
So there is that. We didn't talk about this teacher. Because we're going to Florida.
So many teachers.
Because Florida is America's wang. So this was at a track meet. The track meet where the high school teacher's daughter was at, along with his wife. He showed up, and who is listed as a social studies teacher at a Pensacola high school where his daughter's track meet was at, and he showed up drunk to the point his wife, super angry that he showed up drunk, informed him that he will not be going with the rest of the family to the Olive Garden once the track meet is over with.
He's going to miss out on the Olive Garden.
To which he got angry that he was now missing out on the trip to Olive Garden.
Tell me that, woman.
And he pointed a gun at her.
Jesus, he really wanted Olive Garden.
He pointed a gun at his wife because she was like, "You're not going to Olive Garden because you're drunk." And he's like, "Well, what's this gun say?" So now he's, showed up drunk to a high school event, and also brandished a weapon. And he's not just suspended from the NBA team that he's on.
Oh, wow.
He's going to the jail. Can you imagine your dad showing up drunk to your track meet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see it.
Aiming a firearm at your...
No.
Okay.
Not that part.
At your mom?
The drunk at anywhere I ever went that he came to see me. Yes. 100%. Never brandished a weapon.
Right. And then ended up in jail. I don't think I ever want to go back to that track meet. Dad showed up drunk, pointed a gun at my mom, and then went to jail. I think I would tell him, I don't think I want to go to Olive Garden either.
I kind of want Olive Garden right now.
Just the unlimited breadsticks.
The salad. I like the salad.
Salad's amazing.
Tour of Italy.
I'm not going to talk about Mayor Giuliani.
Good day, mate.
And I won't talk about that. But we will talk about we're in Colorado as a driver that was, he was going the wrong way on a freeway, and he got pulled over. The 28-year-old driver found himself in the doghouse after he attempted to switch places with his pup.
Come on.
So the Springfield police officer pulls him over and sees a lot of things going on in the car. And when he gets to the front of the car, there's this puppy in the driver's seat, and the dude is in the passenger seat just kind of looking at him like, "Oh no, he was driving."
Was this Scooby-Doo and Shaggy?
It was not. He was going 52 miles an hour the wrong way in a 30-mile-an-hour zone. So this isn't a freeway. I apologize. Either that, or they got really low speed limits on the freeways.
Put a picture on the screen for you, Colby.
Is that the tour of Italy?
It's the tour of Italy.
That's a lot of pasta.
Makes me horny.
That's too many calories. I ain't doing it.
How many calories do you think that is?
That's probably the pasta itself plus the cheese and everything. I'm gonna go with that was 16 to 1700 easy.
And it's lasagna, and it's a Parmesan chicken breast.
Parmesan chicken breast is smaller than what you think, The cheese isn't that big with the Parmesan. So fried everything, you're probably looking at 400 to 500. And then, but everything else is going to be a lot more than what you're getting out of it. That's for sure.
And then how many calories is this?
That's more calories for your wallet. She probably consumes somewhere around 600 to 700 calories a day.
God, to look like that.
Yeah. That's probably pretty much it. Either that or she's got one of those built-in hyper metabolisms.
Comes with tothobes.
It does. You know what? It just makes it have better range.
I love her range. As an actress.
That's news and notes, everybody.
That's it?
Look at the time, bud. Because look at the time.
You're probably right. It's probably better anyway.
Time to get the hell up out of
Before
here.
I finish the last beer here. This is the Colby Sapp and IndyCarTim show. Thank you for joining us on this Monday edition. We'll be back Wednesday with another Colby Sapp and IndyCarTim show. Enjoy the Stars game as they lead 1-0 with 16:40 left in the third period.
Woot, woot.
And we'll be back to talk about it on Wednesday. Until then, boys and girls, we'll see ya. Oops. Now we'll see ya. End.
Ding.